Hey y'all, today let's talk about a daily practice that I have and one business killer. And if this is your very first live cast with me, hey, I'm Natasha Hazlett, and I help entrepreneurs from around the world get the clarity, confidence, and strategies that they need to boost their income and level of influence in the world without working longer hours. Hey Melissa, welcome. So, if you followed my last live cast, you'll know that I am participating in a little bit of a challenge that I actually gave one of my clients. And that is to create a manifesto, which I've already done, and to go through and do Facebook Lives on each of the sections on my manifesto and kind of explain to y'all what is the thought process behind this, and why are these the things that I know for sure, and why is it that I structure my life in a way that these things all are true for me. Hey Melanie, hey Hoover. All right, so last time we talked about the fact that I'm on a mission to transform thousands of lives, so come along for the ride or get out of my way. And the next part of my manifesto is I am committed to inspiring others daily. And that is my daily practice. I am committed to inspiring others daily. So how do I do that? Why do I do that? Why does it even matter? Great questions, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And guys, if y'all ever have any questions on the stuff that I'm covering, make sure to comment below. Let's start a dialogue. That's way more fun on a Facebook Live. And if you love what I'm talking about, give me a thumbs up or a heart. So I know you are tracking with me. Good? Okay. So, why am I committed to inspiring others daily? I realized that my voice matters. My voice matters big time. And I have been gifted a voice and a message from God. And it is my job to use it in a way that I feel that God has intended. And I have had countless people over the past 10 years saying, something you said changed my life. Or just being around you, I just get so excited. Like your enthusiasm is just infectious. I just love what you do. I always feel better. And when I hear that, it makes me realize I got to step up my game, and I've got to do this more often and on a more consistent basis. And so that is where I made the commitment to inspiring others daily. So some of the ways that I do that, if you follow my Facebook page, you know that I have a little inspirational something early in the morning. Why? Because right when you wake up, and if you're as guilty as I am of checking Facebook first thing, I want the first thing that's filled up in my feed to be positive things that are going to teach me something, that are going to uplift me in some way before my feet hit the floor. Because that is what sets the tone for my whole day. It's why I do these Facebook Lives, because I want to come to y'all with little bits of wisdom, thoughts, things that will hopefully make your life and your business even better. And one way I can do that is through Facebook Live. We send out emails and trainings. So if you ever want to get on our email list and you want to get those extra trainings, go over to natashahazlett.com. You'll see a box at the top that says you can get my perfect client template. You'll get on our list, and you will get awesome training. Why? Because I want to inspire you daily. I want to help you to reach your goals. And where do I get this inspiration? Where do I come up with this stuff? Because I know that a lot of people may love the idea of inspiring others, but they don't even know where to go or what to do. So I'll tell you, first and foremost, one of the very best ways to be inspired is to shut up and listen. You know what I'm saying? Shut up and listen. In prayer and meditation, trust me, your inner voice is going to put something on your heart. How can I inspire and serve others? Ask the question and watch the answer you're going to receive. You'll know. And then you just have to have the courage to share it. And it may be, look, inspiring others daily does not mean that I always have to do it in a big broadcast format. It may be in my actions with a colleague. It may be through a coaching session, or a group coaching session where I've got lots of people that I'm inspiring and trying to uplift. Maybe it's some private one-on-one calls. Maybe it's a behavior that I have when I'm out in a group and it makes other people think, wow, I should probably do something like that too. So it doesn't have to just be coming out and talking to people in a big format, although, I'm going to tell you something, y'all. Facebook is really, really powerful tool. And I saw that, I'm looking over here, Melissa says, courage is the key. Do a video on that. Yes, I will. Duly noted. Melissa, shoot me a private message, will you, on that video topic so I'll remember it. And we'll do one on courage, I promise. So, Facebook is so powerful because so many people are scrolling on it. And I got to tell you, a lot of people are scrolling on Facebook and they've had a crappy day. And they're stressed out, they hate their job, they're irritated at their spouse, or their kids. And imagine how cool it would be to pop up and you've got something super inspirational to share with them. You've used your God-given voice and you've made them feel better. I'll tell you that it doesn't always have to be just something that you've created. Sometimes you may come across something that's inspirational, and the way that you can inspire others daily is just by sharing a post or a quote. I love to share other quotes, other articles that I read that are awesome. If you find something of mine that you love, steal it. I know Hoover loves to share my stuff, and I love it when Hoover shares my stuff with her friends. And it's just a way to spread the cheer. Maybe you're not even feeling so great and inspired yourself, but you hit that share button, and all of a sudden you've lit up someone else's life, which is pretty cool, right? So it doesn't have to take a ton of effort. But Facebook does offer some really, really unique opportunities to inspire others. So I'll tell you, one time I read this article about, it was called When God Makes You Wait. And my mom actually sent it to me in a really tough time. This was right in the midst of our infertility journey. And I was just about at the breaking point. And I was really mad at God, to be perfectly transparent. Why are you doing this to me? This isn't fair. Like, what did I do to deserve this? And right on time, right when I needed it, in comes this article, and it explained to me why God makes you wait. And I knew in my heart that it would be selfish for me to just keep that inspiring, soothing message to myself. So I turned around and shared it, and I said, many of you, and even if just one of you resonates with this, it'll be worth it. This was a really timely message for me. And I've got to tell you, I had so many comments from people that said that is exactly what I needed to hear. Now, this wasn't something that I came up with myself. I just had the courage to share it, knowing that I was going to be helping someone else. So it may be that you find something that you want to share. It may be that you just shut up and listen, and you see, what does your inner voice say? This is today's topic. This is what I want you to talk about. It could be talking about it in a blog post. It could be talking about it on just a plain written Facebook post. It could be talking about it on a training. It could be something that comes up in conversation with a friend. But or it could be something that you just go on live and do a Facebook Live video. But That's another great source of inspiration. Obviously, reading. Y'all saw that I posted my ridiculous stack of books on my nightstand, and I had to tell y'all shamefully, like, that is a fraction of it. I actually have a armoire that has shelves on it, and I like took the ones that I was like, I really want to read these, but they're probably not like on the top of the list. So I have a stack like that big in the armoire across from my bed, filled with tons of books. And that's not even all the bookshelves. So the other ones are like, yeah, these are kind of third level books that I really, really, really want to read. So reading books and listening to Audible books when you're really busy. Because I had some people were commenting, oh, I'm just too busy to read a book. Then, yo, can I introduce you to Audible? I have to tell you, I was not a fan of Audible at first. For whatever reason, audiobooks, and maybe it was just the narrators that I was listening to, would like always make me fall asleep, like without fail. Now, my husband, on the other hand, I'm gonna tell y'all, like he has like Audible like ranks you as based on the number of hours of audiobooks that you've listened. Like Rich is at literally the highest level in Audible, and that's wild. But he always has interesting stuff to share. So, you know, if you're someone that doesn't have time to sit down and read, do what I did. Y'all know I was cleaning my house. This is the first time I was back home in like 3 weekends. Cleaning my house. I had my headphones on, had my fuzzy robe on, had my phone tucked into my pocket, and I'm listening to, I was finishing up You Are a Badass About Money, which is a great book, by the way, and I started Sacred Success, which is phenomenal book. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. So, you know, that's another place that you can get inspiration. Also, your real life. When people do awesome stuff for other people, or you witness it, a random act of kindness, wise words. If you just are open, if you made the commitment to inspiring others daily, and you are open, let me tell you, you are going to see so many ways to inspire others. It's just a matter of bringing that to the forefront of your mind and making that one of your daily operating procedures that you're going to inspire other people. And, you know, if you're nervous about doing it, remember, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about uplifting others. It's about pouring into others. It's about giving of yourself to others. So don't be all focused on, you know, whether you know, people are going to think you're silly for inspiring others. I mean, I've never had anyone, no, I take it back. I had one smartass that was giving me like a little grief on my inspirational post. You know what I did? I ignored them. I didn't like their stuff, their comments. I didn't engage in a fight with them. I literally ignored them. After about 3 obnoxious comments on my post, just trying to start something, they left. Hallelujah! No big deal. I just kept going because I knew that other people. Is that Sue Henry on here? Is that Sweet Sue? I thought I just saw her little face pop up, give me a heart. So, you know, that is, and I'll tell you, Sue does a great job of empowering and uplifting women. She has a Facebook group that she created, and she's really created a great community. And so props to Sue for being focused on inspiring others. And Sue's hysterical. She's got some great stories. So, and I know she's someone that is very focused on inspiring others, and she does. So that is the first part, and that is why I have Inspire Others Daily as my commitment and in my manifesto. Now, I promised you that I was going to also share with you one business killer. You may be like, okay, you just talked about inspiration. Now you're talking about a business killer? What the hell? Let me tell you how I promise it goes together. Sometimes you see patterns in people, and you see that they are things that can really hurt them in life or in business. And sometimes the inspiration that you need to give is a lift up, a hand up, and sometimes it needs to be a kick in the pants. Sometimes it needs to be helping people to recognize the stuff that they can't even see for themselves. Does that make sense? Are y'all with me? And by the way, do y'all have any questions for me on the first part about inspiring others? Are y'all committed to inspiring others? Oh, thank you, Mel. Nat is an intelligent, generous, insightful, inspiring vessel of abundance. Whoa! Melanie, you sure do know how to make a girl feel good. Aw, thank you. Hoover says that I've got good stuff to share. It's awesome. Thank you. Melissa says Audible has saved her. That's awesome. I love it. Yes. All right. So, Angela says, I never listen to the radio anymore. Audible's always on in the car. That's awesome. Yeah, me too. Me too. And also, not only that, like, I don't even watch TV, y'all, anymore. I was talking to this awesome woman that I haven't yet to meet in person, but I've seen her online, and she's amazing. She lived in Boise. She moved to Salt Lake City. And we were talking about news personalities in Boise. I'm like, I don't even know who they are. Because I'm like, I don't watch TV anymore. Because I just want to be filled with inspiration. Like, I constantly want to be in that zone of positivity and inspiration. I mean, y'all, the election season had me, like, on the floor. Like, I was exhausted. It felt heavy and yucky. And I was just like, and everyone was talking about that crap on Facebook. And it was just, not good. And so I just like once all that nonsense was over, I like just turned it off, and I'm like, that's it. And I make sure like everyone that was like going off on their political rants, I actually just stopped following them. I didn't unfriend them because gosh, that was kind of childish. I had people unfriend me over politics, so silly. So I just unfollowed them. So because like until they could like settle down and simmer down, I wanted to fill my feed with inspiring messages. And so it's like awesome when I open my news feed because I have so many friends that are committed like I am to inspiring others daily, which is super awesome. So, all right. Hey, Mikkel. All right, so now the business killer. Here we go. So I was talking to someone, and they're a client of mine, and I started noticing some language patterns. And I knew that these language patterns were going to really screw them in business. And so I called them on it. So here's what it is, and I just want to tell you all this so that y'all, I figure if one person is dealing with it, and I know that I've dealt with some of this in a much smaller way in my own life. I had plenty of other things that I was dealing with in my own life, but this was something where I think that a lot of people need to think about, or this is something that a lot of people need to think about. So here's the deal. So this person made an offhanded comment, totally offhanded, saying, yeah, I've got some bitterness about X, and it was towards certain people. Or I've got some resentment because of Y. It doesn't even matter what the reason is for the bitterness or the resentment. But, and I was like, whoa, we got to deal with that. We got to deal with that. Like, if you're saying that and, like, that's actually coming out of your mouth, like, you know, a lot of times we don't even admit that we have bitterness and resentment. But, like, if it's so profound that we're actually, like, vocalizing it to someone else, we got to talk about it. And so I told this person, I said, you have got to get a handle on that, friend. Like, that is going to totally put a big wall up, and no matter how awesome you are, no matter how dedicated you are going to hit a wall in your business, because bitterness and resentment are gonna stop you big time. And so here's the response that I got. Well, I recognize that. So let's just move on. And let me tell you, and a lot of people think that, like, I recognize what my problem is, right? I recognize what my problem is. So now that I know what it is, let's just roll. Let's just keep moving, right? Here's the problem with that. And I want to do this like analogy with y'all. And you tell me if this makes sense. Imagine that you come home and you find out that you've got like a rodent problem, okay? You see little tails scurrying around. You may see rodent presence all over your house, okay? We have now looked in and we have seen, okay, we have identified that we have a rodent problem. Okay, let's roll. Now I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's go. Now, I know that I have that problem, so we're good. I'm good. I've identified the problem, and yeah. Okay. Now, how effective is that going to be, that identification of the rodent problem, to actually removing the rodents? Brooke came on. Hey, Brooke. Hey, Michelle. Brooke came on, and she's like, hey, it's my first live with Natasha, and she's talking about rodents. So I'll give you context for those of you that joined late. We're talking about identifying a problem, and the tendency to say, I've identified my problem now. I've identified that I'm depressed. I've identified that I'm jealous. I've identified that I'm resentful. I identified that I have bitterness towards X. I identify that I have a lack of self-worth. And let me tell you something. Awareness is great. And Melissa says awareness is step one, but you can't stop there. And yeah, awareness is a wonderful thing, especially if there's been a problem and you are like, I have no clue. There are these weird looking things in my house and I don't know what they are. And isn't it so nice to determine that you have identified a rodent problem in your house? That's wonderful. But there's a second step. You actually have to take action to remedy the situation. You got to go and identify the solution to the problem, and then you got to take action to implement the solution. Okay? So you got to call the pest control dude, right? And then you got to go and meet him and take the action of opening up your house, letting him come on in to your house and take care of the rodent problem, right? And I've got to tell you, y'all, like, I did not recognize how emotions like jealousy, bitterness, resentment, a lack of self-worth, feeling of less than, feelings of not loving or being accepting of money, all of these feelings, these emotions, they can kill your business if you are an entrepreneur. I am telling you, I am a go-getter. Like, I have always been a go-getter. I have always been able to just bury my head and do stuff and get it done. But that only got me so far in our business. There was a point where I could never break through the barrier. Why? Because I had a bunch of emotions that I hadn't dealt with, and once I identified them, there are so many different ways and different tools that I've discovered that are available to you to help you to get past those emotions. And it's definitely worth the effort, and it's definitely worth the money to invest in getting those things under control, right? Because let's face it, DIY can only get you so far. Like, I mean, let's say, like, hypothetically, I haven't had a rodent infestation, but like, oh heck, if that happened to us in our house, yeah, I'm hiring a professional because I need to get the rodents out of the house as soon as humanly possible. And I don't need to turn around and try to figure out all this DIY stuff, right? I can go to people that are like specially trained to help handle the rodent situation. If you've got emotions like jealousy, bitterness, anxiety, resentment, there are people that can help you. Yeah, you can do the traditional counselor therapist route. That's fine. My experience, I'll tell you, looking back on it, is that it's probably not the fastest way to get rid of stuff. There are lots of other tools in your toolbox, and Um, well, since I've got Hoover and I've got Melissa Walsh on here, I may as well like give some kind of alternative things. Y'all encourage me to talk about this stuff, right? Some kind of alternative cool things that I've done to address these situations. And one of my friend was like, don't be going all Dr. Phil on me now. I'm not a therapist, right? I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to, I mean, therapy is good and it has its place and all that, but I'm going to tell you, I found some other stuff that's like way faster and way better. So, at least for me. So, the first thing that I tried in this whole new reinvented life thing that happened last spring, in spring of 2016, the first thing I tried was hypnosis, and I didn't really think that it would ever really work. And I didn't think that I could be hypnotized. And it's one of the really interesting things that in a lot of these modalities, like, you don't have to believe it for it to work, which is great because by my very nature, I'm kind of distrustful about stuff like that. So the fact that like I didn't have to buy into it for it to work, which is pretty cool, right? So I was gifted a hypnosis track for being a superstar entrepreneur by a guy named Joseph Clough, and he is a celebrity hypnotherapist, and he is a #1 Hay House best-selling author. And I started listening to his stuff, and I started realizing that some of these emotions that had been on my surface started just being removed. So I started listening to his hypnosis track over and over and over again. And I got to tell you, the first time I listened to it the whole way through. And what's great is he says on there, it doesn't matter. You can listen to every word, or you can go to sleep, like whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. It's totally okay, which is good because I was like all about listening to the whole thing. So I was like, yeah, I don't want him to like hypnotize me to cluck like a chicken or give him all my money, or like, I don't know. Like, I feel like hypnosis is kind of, I mean, what could they tell you, right? Anyways, so Joseph, if you look him up, he's got lots of free hypnosis tracks that you can test out. In fact, one of my clients, Jessica Tukey, used it, and she like totally got over her fear of public speaking, like on one of his free tracks. Can you believe that? Anyways, and we are super blessed that Joseph is going to be one of the speakers at the Unstoppable Influence Summit. And if you have not gotten your tickets, go now. NatashaHazlett.com/summit, October 13th and 14th. Y'all, I haven't even really promoted the event at all, and we already have like half the tickets are gone. So this is going to be a transformational 2-day event, but Joseph is one of the speakers. And so hypnosis is definitely one of the great tools that you can use. And the thing I loved about it was, like, half the time, after I listened to it the first time, like, and made sure that I wasn't going to be clucking like a chicken or something crazy like that, then I was cool with going to sleep. And so every morning I started feeling better. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like, no therapy, no, like, big bills, for the monthly therapy fee or anything like that. This is awesome. Awesome. I don't know, Hoover. I don't know. We can talk to him about that. But I can tell you that there is going to be a way to get a custom hypnosis track from him. That's all I'm going to say. You have to show up to Unstoppable Influence Summit to find out how you're going to get a custom hypnosis track from him, which is what I have. Pretty powerful stuff. So, all right. So next. The next thing that I did, I'm trying to think. So energy clearings, those were really powerful. I didn't even know how it all worked. I didn't know, a chakra from an aura. Like, I didn't know about any of that stuff. Again, it's one of those beautiful things where you don't have to understand it. Just all I knew is that after I went to an energy clearing session, I just felt awesome. I felt good. I felt different. And I felt more empowered. And that was pretty awesome. Okay. So, another thing that I have, I'm just trying to think of what else. Oh, emotion coding or body coding. So I first found out about this several years ago. from one of my students who started doing this thing called the emotion code or the body code. And they basically, the concept is that emotions, everything is energy, right? We talked about this on the last slide. Everything is energy. So like everything, this card is energy. Hey Rhonda. This card is energy. The camera is energy. Like everything, my hair is energy. Like everything is made of energy, right? Well, guess if everything is made of energy. Hey Danielle. Danielle, we gotta go and get coffee sometime, friend. I want to catch up with you. If everything is energy, then guess what else is energy? Your emotions. Your emotions. All right? And just like energy can get blocked, your emotions can get blocked. And so there is this process that these super smart people developed called emotion code and the body code. And basically it's a way of releasing trapped emotions. Emotions that you had from when you were like very little and that you didn't even realize that you had. Like, it's really interesting. I did a body code session, and I totally just hit myself in the face. Hopefully I was so subtle you didn't even notice it until I outed myself. So I did this body code session, and like there was this emotion that came up, this interesting thing that this lady found. I did this, like, by the way, like via Skype. Like, it wasn't even someone that was like local. And it was something that happened in like the second grade. And I relived it. Like, I'm talking to her about it, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that that's what caused XYZ emotion that I've had for like forever and ever and ever. And I can't believe how it's all played out, and it was like all intertwined. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. It's really, really fascinating. And, you know, I got to tell you, this has really been an exciting journey of really peeling back the onion. It's the process that I've called in my book, Unstoppable Influence, the process of unbecoming. So, you know, maybe the process of becoming someone, really, you're really not becoming anything. You're just unbecoming everything that you really weren't in the first place. Because over the years, we have all this stuff that piles on us, all these emotions, all these experiences, and all of a sudden we become someone that we're really not. And so, really, over the past 15 months or so, I have really started this process of unbecoming and peeling back the layers and discovering all of these things. And this emotion code, body code thing was one of them. And that helped me realize some different things that were going on that I would have like literally never thought about. It's stuff that was like totally trapped like in my subconscious mind, which is kind of wild. And I have to tell you, while I'm going off on a tangent on the subconscious mind, I have to tell you this. I always thought it was kind of weird. I was like, the subconscious mind. If anyone ever wanted to prove to me that there really was, that you really do have a subconscious mind, think about like when you're driving somewhere and like all of a sudden you're there at the place and you're like, I don't even remember driving. How did I get here? That's because your subconscious was driving. Pretty crazy. So as soon as someone told me that example, I was like, yep, can't deny the subconscious mind is there. And guess what? It is a really big file cabinet full of stuff. And a lot of times, the stuff that it's full of is like garbage and not true stuff. And so, so it's through these sorts of processes that you can start to remove the things that are no longer serving you. And speaking of which, and by the way, I'm totally going off on this. Are y'all liking this? Is this helpful? Y'all, let me know. Give me some comments. Give me some thumbs up if you're here and watching. Because otherwise, I feel like I'm just like totally going off on a tangent. All right. So here we go. So subconscious mind. So you got to clear all this stuff out, right? Okay. So body code, emotion code was another thing that I tried. Highly recommend. It's awesome. And most recently, I just tried, like today, I tried this thing called balancing. There's this fella in Boise. His name is Ross Cook. If you look up Ross Cook balancing, you can kind of see who he is. His website's under construction right now, but it was very fascinating. It was a process of using muscle testing, and I don't know, like it was just a very interesting process that like I couldn't deny like the fact that I just felt way better after doing it. And it was basically helping to, how do I phrase it? Like if you have supercharged emotions attached to something that like you probably shouldn't be. Like if I looked at a white piece of paper and it caused like tremendous fear and anxiety, like when someone else could look at this piece of paper and be like, it's just a white piece of paper. What's the deal, right? That's what balancing helps you do. Like it helps you take away the negatively supercharged emotions that you place on something that should not have an emotion associated with it. Does that make sense? So it was really a cool process, and this guy is like an expert. He's worked with professional athletes. He's worked with Olympians. He's worked with high-powered executives. It's just a really fascinating experience that I'm looking forward to doing more of it. But the bottom line is that the reason why I'm telling you all of that stuff is that I identified that I had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of emotions going on, just like my client. My client had identified that they had feelings of bitterness and resentment. Now, what they're going to do with it, I don't know. Hopefully they'll watch the video. Hopefully they'll really take to heart, because I'm never going to push someone. If someone's not willing to do something about the rodent infestation or whatever, then it's not my job to do it for them, right? You can only inspire others and give them some guidance and help them along, but you can't force it on someone. So that is all, that was my job, to drop the seed, to plant the seed, and see, and hopefully they'll heed my advice and do something about these infestations. And I'm going to tell you, the last thing I'll say is, I was in a Facebook group and someone was talking about, asked the question, like, what's one of your biggest mindset challenges? And so a bunch of people were posting all their mindset challenges, and this person is a mindset coach. And so one of the things that they asked every single person about their mindset challenge was, what's your payoff for holding that view, like that thing? So for example, in the instance of resentment, what's the payoff? Like, how's it serving you? And I would tell this person that felt this bitterness and resentment, I would say, what's your payoff? What's the perceived benefit that you feel like you're getting as a result of holding on to this emotion? Here's what I'm going to guess that they would say. Well, because I'm going around with this chip on my shoulder, I got this underdog, thing going, and it makes me fight harder. It makes me perform better. And you know what I would ask? I would ask, well, is that the only way that you can work harder? Are you completely incapable of working harder without having to hold on to this really negative and draining emotion? And the answer is probably no. I could probably find another way to work really hard. I don't need this negative emotion of bitterness, resentment, or whatever to work hard. And so when you realize that this thing is no longer serving you, that's when you want to let it release. That's when you want it to release. And that will make all the difference in the world. I have identified over in this whole process of unbecoming, like, lots of emotions and feelings and beliefs that were no longer serving me. And I realized that there were some perceived payoffs, some weird payoffs that I thought I was getting as a result of holding on to these beliefs. But when I really examined them, like under the microscope, I'm like, that's not true. That's not true. That's not really serving me, and there's probably other ways that I could get that same payoff without having to cling on to this thing that is sucking my energy and is making me a not present person. And so once I made that commitment, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to release it. I'm ready to do whatever I need to do to release it. So that is my, that is my advice for y'all, is that, the way to avoid the big business killer is when you see patterns and behaviors and emotions are starting to rear their ugly head, and you identify them. Don't just sit on your laurels and think, I identified them, I'm good, I know that they're there, so let's keep rolling. You got to do the work necessary to take action and release those things. That is where all the progress is going to be made. That's going to keep you just skyrocketing upwards, onward and upwards to fulfilling your calling. So that's what I've got for you. What do you think? Do y'all agree? Disagree? Let me know. Make sure that you're commenting below if you found value in today's topic on inspiring others and how to avoid a very big business killer, which is negative emotions. Make sure to share it with a friend. Inspire others. Uplift others. And one of the ways that you can do that is by sharing this video. And if you have not reserved your ticket for the 2017 Unstoppable Influence Summit, what are you waiting for? NatashaHazlett.com/summit. I'll post the link in the comments below. Guys, we have a stellar lineup. We have got Don Hudson, who is the international #1 New York Times best-selling author of The 1-Minute Entrepreneur and The 1-Minute Negotiator. We've got Chad Hymas coming. He was named by Wall Street Journal as one of the 10 most inspiring people in the world. You think you can learn something from him? Probably so, right? I can't wait to hear his talk. We've got Rhonda Conger coming and talking about being a leader of leaders. Y'all, Rhonda is a hoot. She is amazing, an amazing speaker. So excited. We've got Joseph Klepp coming. He's coming in from San Diego, and he is going to help you to unlock your potential. And you know it's going to be good from this celebrity hypnotherapist who has made a massive and profound change in my life and in the life of some of my clients. And of course, yours truly will be on stage. We've got Heather Quizzle, Christy Code Red is going to be on. We've got a whole table of experts, round table, where you're going to be able to hear from some of the best and the brightest in a variety of areas that are going to help you to be the unstoppable influencer that you were meant to be. So don't miss out, because I'm telling you, guys, when the tickets are gone, they're gone. 50% of them already gone. So if you want a ticket, don't wait. Don't wait until the last minute, because I'm going to tell you, you can't beg me. Even if you're a friend, even if you're a family member, I cannot get you in. Once the tickets are gone, they're gone. So go to NatashaHazlett.com/summit. Can't wait to see so many of you all there. It's going to be epic. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next live, where we're going to talk about the next line of my mission, of my manifesto, which is, I embrace my God-given talent, and during my lifetime, I will bless as many people as possible with my gift. Believe me, I got a lot of stuff to say about this one. So, a lot of cool stuff you're going to learn. So stay tuned for my next live. If you find value, share this, and grab your tickets to Unstoppable Influence, NatashaHazlett.com/summit, and we'll see you in the next live. Bye, y'all.